Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Fiesta Gardens Library. This is the last week before Christmas break, so of course I'm reading a wonderful Christmas story. The Puppy Who Wanted a Boy by Jane Thayer. One day, Petey, who was a puppy, said to his mother, who was a dog, "I'd like a boy for Christmas, please." His mother, who was a dog, said she thought he could have a boy if he was a very good puppy. So the day before Christmas, Petey's mother asked, "Have you been a very good puppy?" "Oh, yes," said Petey. "I didn't frighten the cat." "You didn't?" asked Petey's mother. "Well, I just frightened her a little," said Petey. "And I didn't chew any shoes." "Not any?" said his mother. Just a teeny weeny chew," said Petey. "And I remembered, well, almost always remembered, to bark when I wanted to go out." "All right," said his mother. "I think you've been good for such a little dog. I will go out and get you a boy for Christmas." But when Petey's mother came back, she looked very worried. "How would you like a soft white rabbit with pink ears for Christmas?" she said to Petey. "No thanks," said Petey. "Don't you want a lovely canary?" "I'd like a boy, please," said Petey. "How about some guppies?" said Petey's mother. "No thanks, I just want a boy," said Petey. "Petey," said his mother at last, "there are no boys to be found." "No boys?" cried Petey. "Not one could I find. They are terribly short of boys this year." Petey thought he couldn't stand it if he couldn't have a boy. Finally, his mother said, "There now, there must be a boy somewhere. Perhaps you can find some dog who would give his boy away." "Do you think I could?" asked Petey. "It wouldn't hurt to try," his mother said. So Petey started off. It wasn't long before he saw a collie racing with a boy on a bicycle. Petey trembled with joy. "If I had a boy on a bicycle," said Petey to himself, "I could run like anything. I'll take a little run right now and I'll ask the collie politely if he'll give his boy away." So Petey leaped after the bicycle. He called out to the collie, excuse me, do you want to give your boy away?" But the collie said no, he definitely didn't, in a dreadful tone of voice, in a bad voice. Petey sat down. He watched the collie and his boy on a bicycle until they were out of sight. I didn't really want a boy on a bicycle anyway," said Petey to himself. After a while, he saw a setter playing ball with a boy. Petey was delighted. "If I had a boy to play ball with," said Petey, "I'd catch the ball smack in my mouth. I'd like to catch the ball right now." But he remembered how cross the collie had been. So he sat down on the sidewalk and called out politely, excuse me, do you want to give your boy away, please?" But the setter said no, he definitely didn't, in a more terrifying tone of voice than the collie. "Oh, well," said Petey, trotting off. "I don't think playing ball is so much fun anyway." Poor Petey. Soon, Petey came to a bulldog sitting in a car with a boy. Petey was pleased, for he was getting a little tired from so much walking. "If I had a boy in a car," said Petey, "I'd laugh at walking dogs. I'd like a ride right now." So he called out loudly, but very politely, "Excuse me, please. Do you want to give your boy away?" But the bulldog said no, he definitely didn't, and he growled in Petey's face. "Arr!" Oh, poor Petey. Oh. Uh-oh, said Petey. He hurried behind a house and stayed there until he saw the bulldog and his boy drive away. Well, who wants to go riding in a car? Not me, said Petey, coming out from behind the house. He thought he would just rest a while. He had come a long way for such a little dog. He was limping a bit when he started off again. After a while, he met a Scotty walking with his boy and carrying a package in his mouth. Now that is a good kind of boy, said Petey. If I had a boy to take walks with and carry packages for, there might be some dog biscuits or cookies in the package. I would like a cookie right now. He hadn't had any lunch. But he remembered how cross the collie and the setter and the bulldog had been, how mad they had been. So he stayed across the street and shouted at the top of his lungs, but polite as could be, "Oh, excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. Do you want to give your boy away?" The Scotty had his mouth full with the package. But he managed to say no. He definitely didn't, and he showed his sharp teeth to Petey. Arr. I guess that wasn't the kind of boy I wanted either, said poor Petey. But my goodness, where can I find a boy? Well, Petey tried it on and on, but he couldn't find a single dog who would give his boy away. Petey's ears began to droop. His tail got limp. His little legs were very tired. My mother was right, he thought. There isn't a boy to be found. Aww. Just as it was getting dark, he came to a large building on the very edge of town. Petey was walking by slowly when he saw a sign, "Home for Boys." Maybe I can find a boy here, said Petey to himself. These boys have no parents and no dog to take care of them either. He padded slowly up the walk of the home. He was so tired he could hardly lift his paws. Then Petey stopped. He listened. He could hear music. He looked through the window. He saw a lighted Christmas tree and children singing carols. Then Petey saw something else. On the front steps of the building, all by himself, sat a boy. He was not a very big boy, and he looked very lonely. Petey gave a glad little cry. "Huh!" He forgot about being tired. He leaped up and landed in the boy's lap. Sniff, sniff, went Petey's little nose. Wag, wag, went Petey's little tail. He kissed the little boy with his warm, wet tongue. How glad the boy was to see Petey. He put both his arms around the little dog and held him tight. Then the front door opened and a lady looked out. "Why, Ricky, here you are. What is our newest boy doing out here all alone? Come on in and sit near the Christmas tree with us." Petey sat very still. The boy sat still. The boy looked up at the lady and down at Petey. Petey began to tremble. Would the boy go in and leave him alone? "I'm not alone," said the boy. "I've got a puppy." "A puppy?" The lady came out and looked at Petey in surprise. "Can he come too?" asked the boy. "Why," said the lady, "you're a nice little dog. Wherever did you come from?" "Yes, Ricky, bring him in." "Come on, puppy," cried the boy. In they scampered. A crowd of boys was playing around the Christmas tree. They rushed at Petey. They picked him up and petted him and kissed him. Petey wagged his tail. He wagged his fat little body. He frisked about and licked every one of the boys. "Can we keep him?" said one. "Can we give him some supper?" said another. "Can we fix him a nice warm bed?" said a third. "We'll give him some supper and a nice warm bed," said the lady, "and tomorrow we will find his mother and see if she will let him stay. Petey knew his mother would let him stay. She knew how much he wanted a boy. But won't she be surprised, said Petey to himself with a happy little grin, when I tell her I got 50 boys for Christmas. The end. The Puppy Who Wanted a Boy by Jane Thayer. And isn't it amazing that he didn't just get one boy, he got 50 boys? And how happy were all the boys in the home who don't have parents? How happy were they to have a new puppy for Christmas? I wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful holiday. See you next year. Bye-bye.